Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So we're from Group 3. Today we will a presentation of Nativization text. This is our group member.
My name is Ronaldus Raden Wahyudi.
My name is Iran Sona. My name is Yuli Kamila Putri. My name is Aprilia Vijayanti. And my name is Lovi Agenda.
This is the part, the slide, that we put the text that we taking from the website that still contains the foreign culture. The text get helped by the before Nativization text with title Lunar New Year since record migration in China. As you can see. Okay, next slide. Next one. Okay, so, textual analysis before navigation will be explained by Lopi Ayunda. You may take your place, Lopi.
Okay, thank you, Amal. Textual analysis before Nativization. The main topic is celebration of the Lunar New Year in Chinese. The key points. The first is hundreds of millions of people travel back to their hometown to celebrate. The second one is this year is the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac. The third, the celebration begins on January 29 and lasts up to 16 days with the first 7 being national holidays. The fourth, overseas travel is especially popular this year, with bookings doubling from last year. The fifth, transportation hubs are extremely crowded due to the massive movement of people. Sixth, the tourism, hospitality, and retail industries benefit economically during this period. About contextual analysis before Nativization. Cultural context. As you can see, the Lunar New Year is one of the most important traditional festivals in Chinese culture, symbolizing family reunion and the start of a new year according to the lunar calendar. So, social context. With many Chinese citizens having moved away from their hometowns for work or study, the New Year is often the only time they return home, leading to what calls the world's biggest annual movement of humanity. Economic context. China's economic growth has increased mobility and purchasing power, resulting in a surge in domestic and international travel. This greatly benefits travel, tourism, and retail sectors during the holiday. Historical context. Also, the tradition of celebrating the Lunar New Year is thousands of years old. Modern transportation and urban migration have transformed it into a major national and economic event. The reason for choosing the text. We choose this text because it highlights a culturally significant event. The Lunar New Year in China, which reflects not only the traditions and values of Chinese society but also its modern social and economic dynamics. The text presents a rich combination of historical background, cultural importance, and current trends such as increased travel and economic impact. Additionally, it offers a clear example of how traditional celebrations continue to influence and shape modern life, especially in a rapidly developing country like China. This makes the text both informative and relevant, providing insight into how cultural practices adapt over time and affect broader aspects of society. The after decision will be explained by Ronald.
Okay. So, thank you for the chance, Lopi. So, after navigation, we will take over by me, Ronald. Next slide here. Okay, so this is the text. After Nativization, we changed the text from the Lunar New Year in China become more uh locally cultured or locally text by choosing the title is Chak Womek in Singkawang, which we already know. In Singkawang we have some event called Chak Womek in every single year in Lunar New Year event in the calendar. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is part two of the text, and this is uh the table of uh original the table which compare the original text before nativization and nativization text after uh after we nativizing the text of the lunar new year before. So we can see the name of celebration from the lunar new year we change to uh yeah, representative from 175 countries, including Indonesia, met in South Korea. Location, region from outer China, which is outside from Indonesia, become to Singkawa, West Kalimantan, Indonesia. And the other aspect, like we can see here, and I want to highlight the traditions. From the giving red envelopes, family reunions, fireworks, and temple visits, in the original text, we changed to Takong Parade, Liam and Dragon Dance, processions and offering to temple. And many things here we can see between the original text and the native design text. You see that? Okay, so uh, this is cultural unfamiliar and cultural familiar table. We already met some list of the many cultural familiar and unfamiliar things. The first one, hundreds of millions of people returned to their hometowns to celebrate the Lunar New Year. And the cultural familiar, thousands of people returned to Singkawang to celebrate Cap Gomez Festival. The differences is in the original text, they mentioned that a lot of people return to their hometowns, which is in China. Actually, it's safe in Singkawang, but because we want to make it more familiar, so we including the Singkawang, including the name of place, which is Singkawang, to make it more familiar. In this slide, we explore how unfamiliar elements from the Chinese Lunar New Year become familiar when adapted in the Indonesian context. For instance, the large-scale human migration in China becomes a local return to Singkawang. High-speed trains turns into bus and air travel. The essence remains, but it localized. Next slide, Mira. Okay. Textual analysis after nativization. So after nativization, Chakgome becomes more than just a festival. It becomes a platform for cultural harmony. Even like tattoo ritual and lion dance are not just performances, they are spiritual, cultural, and social acts that connect communities and attract both tourists and local alike. So we can see the key information Chakome marks in the 15th and final day of the Lunar Junior festivities. Festivities. Singkawang is famous for its large-scale Chakome parade and cultural celebration. So the event features tattoo, spirit mediums who perform ritual and walk in trances. It involves traditional Chinese lion dance, bonsai, and dragon performances. The next 1,000 of people, including tourists and locals, gather annually to witness the event. The next one, the festival is a symbol of cultural harmony between Chinese and the other local. It also supported by local government to boost tourism and cultural identity. Okay, so the contextual analysis, cultural and spiritual or religious spiritual context. So, culturally, Cap Gomez in Singapore is a beautiful blend of Chinese heritage and Indonesian local tradition. Spiritually, the tattoos embody Taoist beliefs by performing acts and that showcase spiritual strength. This is a clear example of how local culture respect and preserve spiritual tradition across generations. Subcompensating dog is a unique blend of changes of health. Like what I said before, the titles are believed to possess in a religious or spiritual context, the titles are believed to be possessed by protective spirit and perform acts that show their spiritual strength. So the differences of these table is the one is including more in the cultural to explain what the culture of the Cap Gome is. And the other one, the religious one, is the explaining more um by the in the spiritual aspect, like a believer, how people believe in it and how people try to look at it from the spiritual way. Okay, so we have the other about economic context and political or national context. Economically, Cap Gome boost income for hotels, local businesses, and markets. Politically, in the other table, uh, the Indonesian government supports it as a part of national cultural preservation. This recognition helps strengthen national unity by highlighting the value of local traditions. Okay, reason for choosing the text. We chose this text because Chuck Moving in Singapore perfectly illustrated how a traditional Chinese celebration can adapt and thrive in a different cultural environment. It highlights diversity, diversity, and harmony, all while supporting tourism and the local economy. Comparing this to the Lunar New Year in China help us understand cultural continuity across borders. Okay, so next text will be explained by Yuli, and so it will be take over. Yuli, you may take your place.
Thank you, Ronald, for giving me a chance to explain this. The next text is Japan store starts selling drinkable mayonnaise. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is a textual analysis before nativization. The topic is the launch of mayonnaise flavored drink in Japan called Nomu Mayo. These texts have several main points, which is the first one is introduced by Lawson, one of Japan's largest convenience store chains. The drink is called Nomu Mayo, which means mayo drink in Japanese. It is described as a mayonnaise style drink, and it's not actual mayonnaise. Priced at 198 yen for a 200 milliliter bottle. Currently in a sales space to measure consumer responses, the product has gone viral on social media with mixed reviews. Some reviewers say it has the taste of the mayonnaise, but the texture of water. And the last one is the company markets it as a bold, niche product designed for mayonnaise lovers. This one is contextual analysis before nativization. The first one is cultural context. Mayonnaise in Japan is not just a condiment. It is a popular and essential ingredient in many local dishes. Japanese style mayo has a unique taste due to the use of rice vinegar. The creation of a mayonnaise flavored drink shows how deeply ingrained this ingredient in Japanese food culture and how companies are willing to experiment with it. The next one is social context. Japan is known for its innovative and sometimes unusual food and drink products. This product reflects how Japanese families often take bold steps to get attention and spark conversation online. The viral nature of Lumayo also shows how social media influences product visibility and customer interest. The next one is economic context. Lawson's launch of Nobumayo is a marketing strategy to stand out in Japan's highly competitive convenience store industry. Unique products like this attract curious customers, potentially boosting sales and increasing store visits. The next one is consumer behavior context. The product targets a specific niche audience, those who truly enjoy the flavor of mayonnaise. It also caters to adventurous consumers who like trying new and strange products. This trend reflects the growing influence of consumer curiosity and novelty-seeking behavior in shaping product development. Okay, the next one is reason for choosing the text. We choose this text about Nomumayo because it reflects Japan's unique and creative food culture. The idea of a drinkable mayonnaise is unusual and surprising, which immediately caught out attention. It also shows how companies like Lawson use innovation and social media to engage consumers, especially in a competitive market. In addition, we found it interesting how this product connects to cultural identity, how something as simple as mayonnaise can become a bold product due to local taste and preference. This text gives us the opportunity to explore how cultural trends and consumer behavior influence product development. Okay, the next one is going to be explained by my friends. Kira.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. So, after nativization, here the text. Okay, point of matter, name of the product. In original text, the title is non-mayo mayonnaise drink. But after nativization, we change into bubur pedas instant potato sambas. Next is institution or company. In original text, we have institution Lawson, which is one of Japan's largest convenience store chain. And after nativization, we change into Pontesa Sambas, a university in West Kalimantan, Indonesia. Next is cultural background. In original text, mayonnaise made with rice vinegar or turned into Japanese log for mayonnaise. After nativization, we change into taps into local fondness for traditional sambas, which is spicy porridge. Next is price and packaging. In original text, drinkable mayonnaise is 198 yen for 200 milli. And in after notification, we change into 10,000 per package. Next is product status. Test original text. We have test cells to go gauge market potential, and after notification, we change into market testing phase to assess response. Next is taste and texture description. In original text, which is Japan drinkable mayonnaise, taste is like mayo but has the texture of water. After naturalization, we change into taste and taste like bubur pedas, spiciness, and seasoning strong even in instant form. Social media response. In original text, it's gone viral with mixed reactions described as a bold niche product. And after nativization is also viral with mixed reaction described as a bold innovation for a specific market. Next is textual analysis after nativization. The topic is the launch of an instant version of traditional bubur pedas or spicy porridge from Sambas, Indonesia. Main point is the product is called bubur pedas instant Poltisa Sambas. Next, it was developed by Poltisa Sambas, one of the largest universities in the Sambas region, West Kalimantan, Indonesia. Next is It is an instant version of the traditional spice-rich bubur pedas, a well-known local dish. Next is the product aims to preserve the original flavor and spices while offering more convenience. Next is priced at 10,000 rupiah per package. And next, currently in the market testing phase to evaluate consumer interest and product potential. Next is the product has become viral on social media and received mixed reactions. Some people praise its strong flavor and convenience, while others see it as a niche innovation. Next is contextual analysis after nativization. First is cultural context. Bubur pedas is a traditional dish from Sabes, rich in spicy and cultural heritage. By creating an instant version, Hotesa Sambas is helping to preserve and promote local culinary identity in a modern, accessible format. It reflects how traditional foods can be adapted to suit modern lifestyles without losing their roots. Next is social context. The product reflects changing consumer behavior where convenience and instant food are increasingly favored, especially by younger generations, students, and music professionals. It also shows local pride and innovation in making traditional food more accessible and shareable across Indonesia. Next is economic context. This instant bubur pedas could become a valuable local product, contributing to small-scale entrepreneurship, local branding, and even regional economic development. If successful, it could open doors for other local foods to be turned into marketable products. Next is technological or innovation context. The development of an instant version by a university highlights the role of educational institution in driving food innovation. It also showcases how academic research can meet real-world market needs through creative product development. Okay, next is reason why we choose this text. We choose this text because bubur pedas instant processed sambas represents a meaningful blend of tradition and innovation. The idea of turning a traditional local dish into an instant product shows how cultural heritage can be preserved while adapting to modern consumer needs. This text also reflects local creativity and the important role of educational institutions in supporting regional development through innovation. We found it interesting how the product went viral and sparked diverse opinions, which shows how culture, economy, and social trends all interact in shaping public response. By studying these texts, we gain insights into how traditional food can develop into a commercial product while keeping its cultural identity intact. Next text is will be explained by Aprilia. Okay, the next text is about Nations Union Against Plastic Waste. This is the text. This okay. Textual analysis before notification. The text discusses a potential international treaty to reduce plastic pollution. 175 nations are participating in discussion held in South Korea. The United Nations Environment Program support the treaty as essential for protecting the planet's future. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres emphasized the seriousness of the issue, stating that we produce 40 460 million tons of plastic every year, much of which is discarded. Guterres described described as the treaty as an insurance policy for present and future generations. He warns that by 2050, there could be more plastic than fish in the ocean. Microplastics are affecting human health and are poorly understood. The president of South Korea supports the treaty and calls for zero plastic pollution, emphasizing that plastic convenience is harming the environment. Government are urged to act immediately by finalizing the treaty. Next slide. Okay, contextual analysis before Nativization. Environmental context. This text reflects a growing global awareness of the severe impact plastic has on ecosystem, especially ocean and marine life. It emphasizes the need for coordinated international action to prevent long-term environmental demands. Political context. The treaty highlights international diplomacy and policy making aimed at achieving sustainable development goals. It shows how countries are working under the UN framework to create binding agreements for environmental protection. Next, health context, the issue of microplastic in the human bloodstream brings urgency from an environmental topic into a public health crisis, making it a shared concern across nations. Economic and social context, um, you can see there. Next, reason for choosing the text. Okay, we choose this text because it discusses a critical global issue that affects all of us plastic pollution. The text is highly relevant to today's world as it emphasizes the urgency of international cooperation in reducing plastic waste. It also highlights the role of global organizations like the United Nations in bringing countries together to protect the environment and human health. Okay. Next, after nativization, there are the texts after nativization. Next. Okay. Point of matter. First issue discussion. Original text. Plastic pollution treaty to be signed globally and native text. Indonesia and the world ready to sign agreement to tackle plastic pollution. Point of matter location, original text meaning held in South Korea. The native side text meeting held in South Korea with Indonesia actively involved. Okay, and the other that you can see there, culturally unfamiliar text. Original global news. First country worldwide could sign a treaty to limit plastic pollution in culturally familiar texts that for Indonesian context. Indonesia and the world treaty to sign agreement to tackle plastic pollution. Representative from 175 nations met in South Korea to discuss plastic waste. Culturally familiar text, Indonesia and the world treaty to sign agreement to tackle plastic pollution. Okay, next. Textual analysis after notification. 175 countries, including Indonesia, are discussing a global treaty to reduce plastic pollution. The UNEP views the agreement as crucial to safeguard the planet's future. Antonio Guterres warns about 460 million tons of plastic produced annually and the growing presence of microplastic in human bloodstreams. Okay, and the others you can see there. Next, contextual analysis after notification. Environmental context. This text
highlights the global plastic crisis, especially its effect on marine ecosystem and biodiversity. It's also emphasized Indonesia's environmental vulnerability, especially in rivers and coastal areas. Health context. The mention of microplastics in human bloodstreams bring attention to the public health implication of plastic pollution, a topic gaining urgency in scientific communities. Political context, the treaty shows how international collaboration through the United Nations is critical for tackling cross-border environmental problems. Indonesia's participation reflects its active role in global diplomacy on sustainability. uh, Social and economic context. The treaty may lead to new policies, reduce plastic use, and innovation in eco-friendly alternatives. It also calls for behavioral change from societies used to the convenience of plastics. Next. Reason for choosing the text. Okay, we choose the text because it highlights a very urgent and relevant global issue, plastic pollution. The article does not only present facts and data, but also emphasize the need for international collaborations, especially with Indonesia actively involved in the treaty. This shows that environmental issues like plastic waste are not just local, but affect all nations and require a global solution. Okay, this is the conclusion. Okay, to conclude, nativization is the process of changing language like English so it fits the local culture and way of speaking. It shows how people make the language their own by mixing it with local words, traditions, and ideas. From our examples, we learn how English can look and sound different in different places but still work for communication. Nativization helps keep local identity strong while using a global language. Okay, so that's all of our presentation from group 3. Thank you for paying attention. Hope you enjoyed the presentation before. So we're going to closing this with Assalamualaikum
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, see you again. Bye bye.